That is Sergio Perez stopping by the side of the track.
And now if he gets that going, I believe he's duty bound to come in the pit lane and start from the end of the pits. And indeed he has.
And it's lights out and away we go, and it's Max Verstappen against Lewis Hamilton. They both got away quite evenly. Hamilton tucks in behind the Red Bull and Leclerc already alongside Valtteri Bottas. Hamilton goes into turn one behind Max Verstappen. Bottas is being challenged all the while by Charles Leclerc. Pierre Gasly's kept his place as well, ahead of the McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo, who's got Lando Norris, his teammate, for company as they head now down towards turn four, and that's off. And that looks like a Haas, and it could have been Nikita Mazepin in the Haas, spearing off into the barriers at turn three. There's definitely going to be a safety car, I would imagine, but it's Max Verstappen who's got the better of the start against Hamilton. And it is Nikita Mazepin who went off and into the barriers.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He got a bit trigger happy with the throttle and went off and had his own accident.
Hamilton now will try and tuck in behind him, and Verstappen immediately darts over to the right-hand side of the track. Now, what is going to happen down into turn one? It's three abreast almost. Verstappen, Hamilton, and then Charles Leclerc with Valtteri Bottas on the inside. Gasly is challenging him. Norris is still ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, and turns 2 and 3 have been navigated safely by the leaders. Norris is right on Gasly's tail, as you can see, as Verstappen goes into turn 4 ahead of Hamilton and Leclerc. Bottas, and then round the outside, Lando Norris, who's got ahead of Pierre Gasly, and there's cars going wide. Could have been Sebastian Vettel right at the rear of the field, and there's a car spinning off as well. I wonder if he's tangled.
There's Mick Schumacher. Well, that's the second Haas we've seen, with just where they put the throttle on and the back ends come around on them.
We can now ride on board with Pierre Gasly, and that's the bit where he touched the rear of Daniel Ricciardo and lost his front wing. Lando Norris wants some benefit, and a little bit more benefit maybe, to try and get past Charles Leclerc. Didn't quite have it at that stage, but he's going to have another run at the Ferrari towards turn 4. Another good overtaking opportunity. Lando Norris going round the outside. Charles Leclerc will force him as wide as he possibly can, and they're absolute wheel to wheel. It's synchronized position holding.
Sergio Perez is absolutely flying out there, Crofty, from the very back of the grid.
Hang on, Ted, here goes Lando Norris. It's a bit easier to overtake down into turn 1, and he's managed that. And there goes Lance Stroll on Fernando Alonso. He's gone a little bit deeper than I'm sure he would have wanted, but he has carried on and taken 7th place. He's 7th, Norris up to 4th, and back comes Charles Leclerc again. Anything you can do, I can try as well. But he needs to be a bit closer on this occasion. He's not, and Lando Norris stays in 4th. Hard tyres going on to Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes. They've not got any new sets of mediums.
No, they haven't. Verstappen will need a great lap and then pit at the end of the lap.
And don't forget, the gap was about 1.5 seconds.
1.7 it was.
Yeah, between Verstappen and Hamilton. Chance of an overtake.
Out.
Wow. Mercedes pulled the trigger for the undercut. Red Bull have said, right, you do that. That's absolutely fine. We're going to go longer. Max Verstappen is not going to like this, I'm sure, as he sees Lewis Hamilton now disappearing through turn 1 and into the lead of this race. Here goes Fernando Alonso with DRS, and also Carlos Sainz as well, and Sebastian Vettel loses 2 places in 1 corner, but a lock-up there might just allow him to fight back with Carlos Sainz. Alonso heads them up the hill towards turn 4. Sainz now pulls out to the left-hand side. He is ahead of Sebastian Vettel, and Sainz is now ahead of Fernando Alonso, and Sebastian Vettel is ahead of Fernando Alonso. Yuki Tsunoda, ladies and gentlemen, new to Formula 1. And I think we might see a few more of those moves during the course of the season. Mercedes switching the strategies and keeping Red Bull guessing which way is the best way. Kimi Raikkonen and George Russell, ladies and gentlemen. Remember at the Nürburgring, when the last time these two got close together, George Russell ended up taking a bit of a tumble. Raikkonen ahead of the Williams there, and they were getting very, very close through turn 4. Hamilton crosses the start-finish line, and Max Verstappen makes his way out of the pit. Sub-2 second stop for the Red Bull crew. That wasn't just neat, that was super neat, wasn't it? And now, ladies and gentlemen, with 16 laps to go, it is game on. Oh, and who's had a tussle and a tangle? It's the Alpine of Esteban Ocon, and it's the Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel. Ocon is ahead, going into the braking zone, and Vettel locking up, can't do anything to stop going into the rear.
This is epic. And he's locked up into 10. He's gone wide.
He's gone very wide. And that will have cost him an awful lot of time, and that is exactly what Max Verstappen and Red Bull would want to see, as the gap now comes down to just 1 second, and they can see for their own eyes that Hamilton is starting to really struggle out there. He's looking in his wing mirrors to see what's happening at the rear. It's Max Verstappen coming his way. Hamilton moves to the middle of the track, forces Verstappen wider at turn 1 and positions that Mercedes beautifully. But is that only temporary from Lewis Hamilton? Can he now hold Max Verstappen up as they head towards turn 4? Hamilton's going to force Verstappen the long way round. By the time they get to the corner, he's about a third of a car in front. By the time they get out of the corner, he's a whole car in front. Max Verstappen is ahead of Lewis Hamilton.
But will Hamilton be complaining because he took the position whilst off the racetrack? He's given it back because he took the position off the racetrack.
So there's the DRS for Verstappen. He's getting extra pace, but it's not enough to make an overtake here.
Yeah, he's got one more chance up into turn 4. He's gone a little bit deep there, but he will get another helping of the rear wing. But Hamilton's got him covered.
This is the second DRS zone. There's one more to come after this. Hamilton is quite comfortable, I think, with Verstappen this far behind. He starts this year going for a record-breaking 8th World Championship. He has been put under immense pressure by Max Verstappen and Red Bull here tonight. Sir Lewis Hamilton, as he is now, crosses the line and wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Max Verstappen and Red Bull come home to take second place. They were the pre-race favourites, but by the slenderest margin of just 0.7 of a second, they've been beaten by Mercedes tonight. Wouldn't mind some more races like that. 23 races to come in 2021. This is a time to look back and then look ahead for what will be a brilliant, we hope, season in 2021 for Formula One.